Erev Tov, everyone.
Erev Tov.
Oh, Brian, how are you? Who else with us? Stephen with us.
Oh, good.
Ivor and Anthony with us. Jeffrey with us. Who else with us? Let's just see who else with us. I see that there's few other people gonna join. I'm just admitting few others, and then we're gonna start the show. Be'ezrat Hashem. Just give them few minutes to everyone. Tonight we're going to speak about Tu Bishvat. And I'm going to speak number one and try to understand the Mishnah of actually the Gemara and the Mishnah. They're both mentioning it. Sorry, I'm going to mute everyone. I need to mute everyone. We have to understand that. Second, yeah. Who else with us? Let's see, join us. 1 second. Let's see who else with us. Frank just join us. Baruch Hashem. Frank is with us now. Good. Who else with us? I see Mark trying to connect for some reason. 1 second, guys. I just need to connect Mark because I think that he's battling to connect. I don't know why. But he just showed me that he's battling to connect for some reason. Okay, but I'm gonna try and connect everyone. Okay, I hope that everyone now can be connected. I'll send the Zoom link again and let's see what's actually happening. Let me just see who else. I'm admitting Mark now. Mark Schenker gonna join us. Okay, yes, okay. Sorry guys, something I needed to fix up to connect everyone to the Zoom. Okay, so 1 second, one more. We're gonna admit more people for joining us. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. רבותיי, as I mentioned, we're going to speak about Tu Bishvat. But today we're going to speak about not only just to say that Tu Bishvat is the New Year's for the fruit tree or for the tree. What's hiding behind it? We have to understand. We bring the mahloket between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. Then we compare the tree to a human being, and then we show some explanation, and we bring the parable between one each other. Then we speak about the idea, okay, that eating and saying the brocha on a fruit, what's hiding behind it. We bring Arbaat HaOlamot, a bia. We try to explain that, Be'ezrat Hashem. Then we're going to explain also why does it say Rosh Hashanah Lailan in single and not in plural. What is it? What is the justification behind it? And we'll go slowly, and then we bring the minhagim and the halachot of Tu Bishvat. But first of all, I would like to dedicate the show in honor of Mamam. Tonight is her Yotzai, Esther Kadem Bat Ketzia. Also in honor of Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Avraham Chaim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar Bat Zehava, Yaakov Salomon ben Parha, Shosha Bluma Bat Mordechai Betzalel, Eitan ben Keren ve'Avishai Nae, Malka Regina Bat Joya, Beketi Gurgia Bat Parha. Also, I would like to dedicate the show number one of releasing of all the hostages that the Jewish hostages that in the hand of the Hamas, Be'ezrat Hashem, for the protection of all the Israeli defense soldier, the member of the security, the member of the police, the member of the Israeli Defense Force. whichever they are, also in the health of all the Jewish people that injured, among them all the soldiers that got injured, if it's in the north, in the south, in Gaza, wherever they are. Also in the health of Menashe Naji ben Farha, Liora bat Miriam, Harav Moshe ben Bahia Batia, Harav Moshe ben Devora, Harav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Harav Abraham ben Marina, Dvora bat Esther, Sheina Keila bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Haim Nahum ben Pesa Reza Kohen, Ahuva Kaden bat Tali Esther, Baruch ben Sarah Hiena, Tzvi ben Hava, Shmuel Meir ben Shosha Blima, Yosef Haim, Yonatan ben Iris, please God, full refuah shleva and coverage. Pesach Yitzhak ben Ela, Chaya Tzipora bat Rachel, Ayala Eden bat Rivka, Velea bat Rachel, ויהודה הלל בן שולמית לאה. Please God, רפואה שלמה to them ולכל חולי ופצועי עמו בית ישראל בכל מקום שהם. רבותיי, I'm going to start first of all with the Mishnah in Masechet Rosh Hashanah. Sorry, the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara starts in page 2. All the Gemarot, by the way, just for general knowledge, you're never going to find the Gemara start with page 1. It always starts with page 2. There's different interpretation for it. But the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah in page 2, folio 1, we see that there is a mahloket between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. What is the mahloket? The mahloket is when is the Rosh Hashanah, the New Year's, for the trees, for the fruit trees. According to Bet Shammai, it's on the 1st of Shvat. According to Bet Hillel, it's on the 15th of Shvat, on Tu B'Shvat. We know that le'alacha bin pasken like Bet Hillel. Okay. But our Torah tells us something very, very interesting in Sefer Dvarim. The Torah tells us in Sefer Dvarim, in chapter 20, verse 19. The Torah tells us like this, Ki ha'adam hu eitz hasadeh. A man is comparable to the tree in the field. And I would like to start the show with few ideas to compare a man to a tree, to see how they are comparable to each other. What's the comparison between them? So first thing we have to understand that the tree, to keep him alive, he has to be connected to the ground, to soil. Without soil, the tree will die. Say Hazal, the same is a Jewish human being. You have to be connected to what? Torah. Torah, that is life. Without the Torah, a person doesn't have spiritual life. Maybe have a physical life, but spirituality is dead. And that's what Hazal tell us. Rasha'im behayehem nikra'im metim. That means wicked people, although that their life, you see them walking, you see them talking, everything physically, they consider as dead people. While a righteous man, tzadikim b'mitatam nahshavim hayim. While the righteous people, in their days, they consider as a living human being. To teach us, say Hazal, that you know what the Torah tells us, ki adam mu'etz hasadeh, that you're comparing the tree to a human being. A person has to be connected to Torah. A Jewish person without Torah is not a Jewish person, doesn't have purpose in life, doesn't have spirituality. He maybe have a different purposes, physicality, but that's not what we came for the world. And we're going to bring the all different four worlds that we have, and I will explain them later on. The same, like to keep a tree alive, we need to water it with water. On a pshat of the dvarim, a person, a human being, needs to drink water to keep him alive. Without water, a person will die of thirst. The tree, if we're not going to water it, you're going to die, then you're going to get dry. Say Hazal something very important, but Hazal tell us that what the Torah is speaking about, Ki Adam Oetz Hasadeh, the world, the tree, Ki Adam, that means a human being, parable to a tree, the same like the tree need water, a human being need water. What is that water? It's the spiritual water. That's the Torah. Because we know that water is comparable to the Torah. The same, like the tree to grow up, to bring fruit, to stay alive, and not to get dry, need water, we need the Torah to keep us alive. Okay? The same that the sapling need something when you plant it to make sure that it will go straight, he need a support. In life, a person need a rabbi. A person that have to understand that he need a rabbi. Why dafka a rabbi? The same that the sapling needed the support to grow up straight, a person need a rabbi to direct him. How do you know which way is the right way? Hazal tell us something very interesting. Hazal tell us that for a person to grow straight, he needs someone to direct him. Because all the time there's shaila in life, there's question. Okay? You need a rabbi to direct you in life. A rabbi that can teach you Torah. A rabbi that can give you Musa, to teach you Musa. That's what we have to understand in life. I today I have a shaila that I needed to speak to my rabbi in Israel to make sure that I have a shaila psak halacha that a paskin, and I never saw it in a Shulchan Aruch. And I said to the guy, I never saw it in a Shulchan Aruch. I don't know where you're bringing that idea, but I never saw it, and it's not mentioned in a Shulchan Aruch. And I don't know all the poskim. I don't know all the poskim and all the gedolim that wrote. I know if you read, you can read hardly to say I know. It's also arrogancy. No, I'm refrain. I know how to read. So when I read, I didn't see that what he called it halacha. There is no such halacha. So I said to myself, you know what? There's so many poskim. Okay, I need to ask him. Maybe he know better than me. Maybe he saw this halacha. And he told me, no, it's not written. It's not written, and he explained to me what was the idea and what they're talking about, but it's not halacha. And Baruch Hashem, I should say Baruch Shekivant. So why am I saying it? Because each one of us need a rabbi to direct us on the right way, Talmid Chacham to teach us Torah, that to teach us how to do kindness and good deeds. Not only that, that will teach us to go on the right way. That means to take the right direction in life. Sometimes we're thinking that we're taking direction, but we're not on the right direction. We actually take off of the rail, and who knows where we're going to get. For that, you need a rabbi in life. The same like the tree grow up towards the heaven. Okay, a human being also needs to understand that that he grow up physically, he become taller, and he grow up higher. But what's the idea behind it? The idea behind it that we have to understand that we're growing towards the heaven. That means that we have to understand that all our purpose in life, the same like the tree grow towards the heaven, we have to have the fear of heaven on us. That means that we should understand that there is the Almighty above us 24/7. The same like the tree grow up higher and higher, we have to grow higher and higher in spirituality, and to make sure that in every moment we have the fear of heaven above us. Okay? How do we get that? By that we're learning Torah. But when we merit to learn Torah, our job is to continue to teach others Torah. And that's the idea. When the tree grow up, he grow up to whatever certain heights that he need to grow. When he reached to that height, the next thing after he grown up, he start to have leaves. He start to bring fruit. The same with us. We grown up to a certain level that we know. Now, the Torah that we know, we have to spread it out, not to keep it inside. And that's the secret behind it. I would like to continue now to a different situation, to a different scenario, to speak about the fruit. One of the idea that we have, one of the custom that we have, we'll speak about it later in the show, is to eat fruit on Tu Bishvat. Why is it so important that this takana become, that Hazal constitute for us to eat fruit on Tu Bishvat? That means, when I say to eat fruit, fruit from the tree. We'll see that later on we'll bring that the Ben Ish Hai say, preferably fruit, פירות שנשתבחה בהם ארץ ישראל. That means fruit that the land of Eretz Israel been blessed with. But what's the idea behind eating fruit on Tu Bishvat? Why is it so important? Why did Hazal actually tell us that it's a great idea, okay, to eat fruit? Not great idea. It's a special thing to eat fruit on Tu Bishvat. What's hiding behind it? So on a pshat of the Dvarim, it's to praise the Almighty and to thank the Almighty for the abundance that He given us. That's on a pshat of the Dvarim. But, Rabotai, the mystical Rabbi explained like this. The mystical Rabbi say that there is certain fruit that inside that fruit, it's actually of a neshama of a human being. And when you say a brocha, for example, בורא פרי העץ, או שהכל נהיה בדברו, או בורא פרי האדמה, או בורא מיני מזונות, whatever the brocha is, you actually have to understand that in certain fruit, HaKadosh Baruch Hu rectifies certain soul. To rectify those, in those fruit, there is a special neshama that been reincarnate. To rectify that soul, how do we rectify those souls? By that we sing the proper bracha. Come the Mekubal Rabbi Chaim Vital. Okay, the Maharhu. Maharhu is Moreno Rab Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital, born in Jerusalem. He born around 482 years ago. Sorry, in Tzfat, in the city of Tzfat he born. He didn't born in Jerusalem. His rabbi, Rabbi Ari Kadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luri Ashkenazi, born in Jerusalem. And he says that you have to understand, in fruit, we have three different kinds of fruit. What does he mean by that? He said that there is certain fruit that we eat, actually, the inside of the fruit, but the shell of the fruit we don't eat. For example, orange, banana, pomegranate, we eat the inside, but the shell of it, okay, we throw away. He said that in the world we have four different kinds of world. Olam Abiyah. Abiyah, the Aleph, Atzilut. Bet is Bria. Yud is Yetzirah, Olam HaYetzirah. And Asiya. What does it mean? There is the world of nobility, the world of creation, the world of creativity, and the world of action. He said that when you eat the fruit, that there is inside the shell and the shell is outside, that's comparable to the world of action. When you eat the exterior of the food and the interior of the fruit you throw away, that's, for example, a date. You eat the outside, inside there is a pip, you throw the pip. The same like with apple. you eat the exterior, but the interior, where's the pips? You throw them away. The same, for example, if you eat olive, if you eat the olive, you eat the exterior, the interior, you throw away. The same is like with all the fruit, the citrus fruit that we have today is the, what do you call it? Not nachi, how you call them? No, I forgot. No. Okay, it will come to me. He says that all of those fruit that you eat the exterior, but the interior, inside them you throw away, that's parable to the world of creativity. But there's fruit that you eat them complete, and that's parable to the world of creation. Okay, Olam Abriya. Which fruit is that? For example, figs. Figs, you eat it completely. Strawberry, we eat the complete, and etc. Cherry, you eat the complete. It's come to tell you something very important, that the fruit that we eating and every bracha that we doing, we actually rectifying certain parts up in the world. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu created four spiritual worlds, each bracha fitting to those ones. That means on Tu B'Shvat we have one of the custom things is to eat. What to eat? Hazal explained to us to eat as many more fruit. Why? Because we're doing now rectification to the soul that in certain level of the world, like we explained, that we have four different worlds. Okay, the highest world is the world of nobility, but that we don't touch. But then come the world of creation, the world of creativity, and the world of action. So it depends where's the soul, on which part of the fruit. And according to that, we rectify his soul, okay, to go up, to reach to the higher world. We have to understand what we have a shaila in the. Now I'm moving to a different stage, explaining the Mishnah of Rosh Hashanah. The Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah, in chapter 1, Mishnah 1, Chazal tell us that Rosh Hashanah Leilanot, the New Year's for the trees, is on the 15th of Shvat. But what is it said? Rosh Hashanah La Ilan. Ilan is a fruit tree. The question that the Zohar asks, and many of the Farshim say, I don't understand. Why is it say Ilan in single? It say Rosh Hashanah Leilanot to all the fruit tree. It doesn't say that. It say Rosh Hashanah Leilan in singular, not in plural. Why? That's the question of the Zohar HaKadosh. The Zohar HaKadosh explained, and he starts like this. He said, first of all, you have to understand what is Tu B'Shvat. Rabotai, now we're going to a different level to understand what is Tu B'Shvat. What's hiding that we don't say Tahanun in Tu B'Shvat? Why we don't say Tahanun in Tu B'Shvat? Why is it? Because it's the new year of the trees. We don't say Tu B'Shvat. There's a secret behind it. And listen what he said. And he said like this. He said, if you look carefully, what's happening in Tu B'Shvat? In Tu B'Shvat, actually, there is something that we have to look carefully, that in Eretz Israel, in Tu B'Shvat, now the bud's starting to grow on Eilan. Today, now, starting, all the trees start to show their leaves and etc. Everything's starting to grow in Tu B'Shvat. He said, it's come to teach you some secret thing, and said the Zohar. You know why it says singly Rosh Hashanah Leilan? He said that if you take the acronym of those words, if you take the middle letters of this word, if you take the end of each one of those words, you can get holy names. And those holy names actually starting to change the starlight of the Jewish people. That means that from now on, Akadosh Baruch Hu sweeten the judgment. If there is any judgment against Israel, from Tu Bishvat, everything's starting to turn the other way. Unbelievable what the Zohar explained. But we'll see what is mean. Rabotai, we have to understand that from Tu Bishvat, that Akadosh Baruch Hu turned the judgment and sweeten those judgments. That means that he turning the judgment against the Jewish people only to good thing. That means if there is people that suffering, people that have difficulties with health, with wealth, people confined, they shidduch, people battling to have kids, say the Zohar HaKadosh and the Mekubalim, that from Tu Bishvat, if a person said the brachot, we'll speak about it just now, with full kavana, he can change and he can sweeten his judgment. Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin. Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin, he born in the city of Lublin in Poland. Okay, and he says something very interesting. He born around 201 years ago, plus minus 201 years ago. He said that sometime in life, a person feel like a dry tree, nothing growing on a tree. We see sometime a dead tree, nothing growing. It's actually not there. Nothing growing. He said that you have to understand that let me explain what he said. That a dry tree is, a person have to understand that sometime in life he feel difficulties. He's battling with health, with his wealth. He's battling with his shlom bayit, battling with his kids, battling with his parnasa, battling people, battling to find a matchmaking, to find a shidduch, people battling to have kids, whatever the case is. All of those, he said, can change into Bishvat. The same like all the trees in Eretz Israel look like they dry now, they're sleeping. When did they start waking up into Bishvat? He said the lack of the Jewish people starting in Tu Bishvat. But the mystical rabbi explained. He said that's exactly what's happened with the Jewish people. Sometimes you feel that you have enough. No, nothing's moving. The tap is closed. He said, from Tu Bishvat, Akadosh Baruch Hu starting to change. He's starting to sweeten the judgment against the Jewish people, if there is any judgment. Please God, there is no judgment. He said by that, the Tu Bishvat it's come to teach us that from that day, the same like the tree coming back alive, although that it looks like it's like a dead tree, like a dry tree, in Tu Bishvat, they're starting to come alive. Also we are, our luck. Rabotai, we have to understand something very important. How do we rectify? So we explain by that we're eating the fruit and we're saying the brocha, we can actually rectify so that there is inside the fruit. All different soul. We don't know which soul. We just rectify them by that we're saying the brocha, bore pri ha'etz, bore pri ha'adama, bore mine mezonot, al chita. Chita is wheat that we have to eat. Also, we have to understand when you say shehakol. Until here, we all understand that. But how does it work? And what does it come to tell us? But that you're doing the brachot with full kavana and Tu Bishvat, you're actually doing something extraordinary. What is the secret and that's what we have to get to understand. He said that Chazal tell us something very important. Chazal teach us that in the next parsha that we're going to read this coming Shabbos, when Bnei Israel go into the wilderness, they arrive to a place that's called Mara. Mara, that's where they find the bitter water. And the nation couldn't drink water because the water was bitter. What is HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu? HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, take a bitter stick that it's bitter. He didn't tell him to take cane sugar and to throw that cane into the bitter water to make it sweet. No. He told him, take a stick that it's bitter and throw it to the water, and that's going to make the bitter water sweet. What is the secret behind it? Say Hazal, that in Tu Bishvat, we're learning that in life we have measure for measure. Midat HaMishkal. Midah keneged midah. What does it mean? That we can actually rectify all our sin that we done in Tu Bishvat. What does it mean, all the sin? I know that you're asking, how can you rectify that? In fact, we have to understand that the main idea behind all the brachot in a deeper level is to rectify the sin of Adam HaRishon. What was the sin of Adam HaRishon? By eating from the tree of knowledge. Adam HaRishon, when he eat the tree of knowledge, not only that he sinned, that he didn't listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he eating from the tree of knowledge. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Adam HaRishon, Mikol Eitz Hagan Tuchal, U'me'etz Hadat, the tree of knowledge, you're not allowed to eat. Say Hazal, something extraordinary. Hazal explained to us that Adam HaRishon created 4 sin, the 4 main sin. That means it's caused them, number 1, Avodah Zarah, to listen to the Nahash. He didn't believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, kafar. Not only that, Hazal say, by that he eaten from the tree of knowledge, he brought death to the world. What is that? Murder. By that he listened to the Nahash, avad Avodah Zarah, worship idols. That means, listen to that, say the Mekubalim, by that you eating fruit in Tu Bishvat, you rectifying the 4 worst sin that there is. Arba'a, these 4 sin, Yahareg ve'al ya'avor. Hazal tell us, these 4 sin that the person rather die and not do them. What are they? Avodah Zarah, murder, immorality that happened from it, that Anahash, Itil Zohama, Behava, okay? So we say murder, Avodah Zarah, immorality, and what was the 4th one? Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayot, and murder. That's the 4th one. And those 4, the main 4 sin, we actually rectifying by eating fruit, dafka, on Tu Bishvat. We're doing rectification for the sin of Adam HaRishon that caused all of it. Isn't that amazing? And that's the secret behind it. Rabbi Chaim Mitzan, you all heard about him. He born in Poland, if I'm not mistaken, around 227 years ago, plus minus. And he said, if you look from Tu Bishvat until Pesach, every 2 weeks, we have a day, a happy day. He said, take Tu Bishvat himself. It's a day that we don't say Tahanun. He said, take 2 weeks after that, Rosh Chodesh. Which Rosh Chodesh? Rosh Chodesh Adar. Like this year that we have 2 Rosh Chodesh, He said that take 2 weeks after that, come you Daled of Adar Aleph. That's called Purim Katan. Okay? We don't say Tahan. Another 2 weeks, Rosh Chodesh Adar Bet. Again, we don't say Tahan. 2 weeks later, what is it? Purim, the festival of Purim. 2 weeks later, Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Okay? After Nisan, 2 weeks later, come Pesach. After Pesach, that we have 7 days, that all beautiful, okay, that we have all beautiful 7 days. After 2 weeks after that, what do we have? No, Rosh Chodesh, Iyar. Then we have 2 weeks later, we have Lag BaOmer. Okay, after Lag BaOmer, take another 2 weeks, again Rosh Chodesh. And then until we get to Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Then we have Shavuot, but it's a festival. Say Rabbi Chaim Mitzanz, what is the secret here? You turn something very important that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tried to teach us and sending us a message that from Tu Bishvat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the luck of the Jewish people. And that's the secret behind it. And that's why in Tu Bishvat we don't say Tahanun, why it's so important to eat as many different fruit on Leil Tu Bishvat. And we explain something very important, Rabotai. We say that in Tu Bishvat, the tree look like a dead, like it's dead. There's no buds, there's no leaf, nothing. But when everything's starting to grow, we say, Dafka in Tu Bishvat, to teach us that the salvation of the Jewish people start when? In Tu Bishvat. That's what the Mekubalim explains. That the salvation of the Jewish people, Rabotai, start Dafka in Tu Bishvat. That's the secret of Tu Bishvat. Now I would like to move to the third part of the show, and I would like to speak about certain law, certain minhagim, and then towards the end I'm going to speak about the brachot and the secret behind the brachot on a different level. Until now we explained that the brachot come to rectify the soul that being reincarnate inside the fruit. But we'll explain in a different way what's happening when we say the brachot on Tu Bishvat. Okay. But first, let's go according to certain halachot and certain minhagim that we have. So, in Tu Bishvat, as you all know, we don't say Tahanun, we don't say Vidui, we don't say Nefilat Apayim. Okay? The Shulchan Aruch and brought in a Mishnah Brura that in Mincha, before Tu Bishvat, we also don't say Tahanun. That means the Mincha, for example, Tu Bishvat going to fall on Thursday. Yes, on Thursday. On Wednesday, okay? On Wednesday. This coming Wednesday in Mincha, we don't say Tahanun. That's a psak halacha in a Mishnah Berurah that we don't say Tahanun. What's happened, sometimes can happen, that Tu Bishvat can fall on Shabbat. And Chazal explained that if Tu Bishvat fall on Shabbat, we don't say Tzidkatcha Tzedek La'olam. We don't say it. Why? Because we don't say Vidui. And Tzidkatcha Tzedek La'olam, it's like Tahanun. But we can't say Tahanun on Shabbat, so what do we say? Tzidkatcha Tzedek La'olam. It's kind of a Tahanun. Come the Shulchan Aruch and it's brought in the Mishnah Berurah, we don't say that. If Tu Bishvat fall on Shabbat, we don't say Tzidkatcha. Okay, listen to that. And that's Lehalacha also been pasken and brought by the Mefarshim. Certain congregation, the minhag, that the groom fast on a day that he gets married. You all know that. The Sfaradim doesn't follow that custom, although I saw that these certain Sfaradim adopted that minhag. Okay, beseder. Those that follow that minhag, that the groom on the day of his wedding fast, if Tu Bishvat fall on a day that he get married, Hazal said that the groom doesn't fast on that day. Hazal explained that he doesn't fast. That's been pasken la'alacha. There is a book that's called Pri Eitzadar. Pri Eitzadar, that's the name. The book been written by Rabbi Binyamin Levy. Rabbi Binyamin Levy was a student of Ari Kadosh, and he said like this. He said that in Tu B'Shvat, if a person can read about the Mishnayot that speak about Tu B'Shvat, the Zohar, if a person can read the Zohar that speak about the law of Tu B'Shvat, he's doing a great rectification, big rectification. There is a minhag, we explain, to eat from the fruit of the tree, Perot Hailan, tree of the fruit. When? And Tu B'Shvat Eve. During the day, if a person can eat some wheat, it's also very good. There's a minhag also. I know that the Ben Ish Chai, Rabbi Yosef Chaim, born around 190 years ago, 100, something like that, in Baghdad, in Iraq. He wrote a famous book of halacha, okay, that's called the Ben Ish Chai. And the Ben Ish Chai wrote in his book in Parashat Matot, I think first year. No, second year, because he took all the parashot and he split them for over 2 years. That means all the parashot 1 year from the 5 books of Moses, and then he wrote different law about different kind of halachot on the second year. And in the second year in Parashat Matot, he said that in Tu B'Shvat, preferably, if a person can eat fruit that the land of Eretz Israel been blessed with, that's what's the first thing that he should do, like dates, olive, if a person can eat, if a person can eat grapes, if a person can eat figs, and etc. And pomegranate, whatever the land been blessed, Eretz Zavat Halav Dvash, the 7th species, those fruit that specially mentioned, that's what he should eat. Rashi Akadosh in a Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, in page 16, volume 1, he explains something. If you want to see it, it's on Shtia Lechem. It said there where it's mentioned the Shtia Lechem, he explains something extraordinary. And he said like this. He said that in Tu B'Shvat, a person should say the brachot with full kavanah. That means a person, when he said the brachot, should say it with full kavanah. What's hiding behind the full kavanah? And that's going to lead us to the last part of the show to explain what's hiding behind it. So we explain, Rabotai, the idea of the brachot is to rectify certain soul, certain spark of the soul that's still inside a fruit. What is it? Let me explain to you what I mean, what the mystical rabbi explained. The mystical rabbi explained that there is certain soul, for example, and that's what I'm going to explain and try to expand it. If you can, after I finish the show, I give time for you to ask. In Shabbat, one of the mitzvot is to eat fish and to eat eggs. why dafka eggs and fish on Shabbat? So Hazal explained that the fish, in a fish, there is certain soul, that the spark of the soul of a tzaddik been rectified inside the fish. But Hazal tell us, En tzaddik ba'aretz asher ya'aseh tov v'lo yachta. There is no such thing that will be a righteous man in this earth, and though that he will do good, that he's not going to sin, because after all, we're human beings. So a tzaddik gets rectified with the fish. Why dafka fish? Because a fish, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the flood to the world, they never sinned. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, this is a tzaddik. He have a little avera. I'm going to send him in a fish. You have to eat fish on Shabbat. When you eat the fish, what is the bracha over the fish? Shehakol nihiya bidvaro. And when you say the bracha and you eat, you actually rectifying that soul that been reincarnate in a fish. When you eat it, you finish his rectification and his soul goes straight up to heaven, clean. That's the idea. The same applicable to certain soul, like we explained earlier. They come in a different kind of fruit. Those fruit is different level of the world. By that you're saying, for example, Bore Pri Ha'etz, Bore Pri Ha'adama, Bore Mine Mezonot, if it's on wheat, okay? She'akol niya bidvaro. You actually rectifying that spark of the soul, and when you eat it with the brocha, you actually uplift it to the heaven. That's what we explained so far. But the Gaon Mivilna, Rabbi Eliyahu Mivilna, born around 304 years ago, plus minus. Some people say, that he born in Lita. Some people say that he born in Vilna. It doesn't make a difference. He explained that you have to understand, and many people make a mistake. Many people think that the first mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given Adam HaRishon when he put him in a garden of Eden is not to eat from the tree of knowledge. You say it's a mistake. Say the Gaon Mivilna, what was the first mitzvah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given him? Mikol etz hagan tuchal. It means that he given him a mitzvah to eat from all the tree in Gan Eden, all those trees that there is in Gan Eden, you're allowed to eat. You can eat. Except one tree in the center, that's the tree of knowledge. Said the Gaon Mivilna, there is here a secret. He said, therefore, Dafka in Tu Bishvat, that it's Rosh Hashanah La'ilanot, it's the New Year's that HaKadosh Baruch Hu judge the trees of fruit. He said that there is a secret behind it, is to eat from those fruit. By that you're eating with those fruit, when you say the brocha, you should say it with happiness and with joy. Not only that, a person has to understand what's hiding behind it. Why? Why with happiness and joy? Say the Gaon Mivilna that you have to show gratitude. What is the gratitude? What is the gratitude that we have to understand? It's come to teach us that we have to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu gratitude, number one, for the tree that he created. Number two, that those trees that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created, those fruit trees, that can bring trees. How did they bring trees? To show how to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu by that we sang the brocha with kavana and happiness, that he brought rain to the world. That rain, it's to show thank you and gratitude for all the prosperity that HaKadosh Baruch Hu do with us. He said that's the secret behind the brachot on Tu Bishvat. Why? To show the gratitude, okay, to teach us gratitude. Tu Bishvat come to teach us to thank Sakadosh Baruch Hu, to show gratitude. I heard from Rav Shmuel Eliyahu. Rav Shmuel Eliyahu, Shalita, he's the son of Rav Mordechai Eliyahu, Zecher Tzadik v'Kadosh Libracha. He said, look, after Adam Arishon eaten from the tree of knowledge, Kadosh Baruch Hu didn't kick him out straight out of Gan Eden. When did Kadosh Baruch Hu kick him out of Gan Eden? After he said to Kadosh Baruch Hu, Aisha asher natata imadi, he, the woman that you've given me, he referring to Hava, she told me to eat from the tree of knowledge. Say Hazal, something extraordinary, said the Mekubalim. In the moment that Adam Arishon didn't show gratitude that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given him Hava, that means a woman, Kadosh Baruch Hu say, you don't know how to show gratitude? Now you have to leave Gan Eden. Only then he kicked him out of Gan Eden. When a person doesn't know how to show gratitude, HaKadosh Baruch Hu don't like it. He said, therefore, a person have to understand something extraordinary. What's the important thing on Tu Bishvat? He said when a person show gratitude and say brachot for all the abundance that we have in all of those beautiful fruit that are available for us to eat from. He said that that's going to teach you by that you're saying the brocha with happiness and full kavana is to show gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because you're lifting your eyes up to heaven and understanding that number one, those trees able to bring fruit. There's many fruit tree that doesn't give many fruit. Not only that, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought rain to the world. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge about the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell every tree how much fruit you're going to get. To teach us Yirat Shamayim, the fear of heaven. That means Tu Bishvat come to teach us gratitude, how to appreciate everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us in this world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to teach us whatever we have in this world, we mustn't take it for granted. And that's what hiding behind Tu Bishvat. Nachon that we eat from the fruit, that's on a pshat of the dvarim. But there is deeper meaning behind it. We're rectifying soul. We're showing gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're learning to appreciate and not to take things for granted. That everything that we have to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu our gratitude. How important everything that we have in this life. That means if we have kids, the wife, the grandchildren, the friend, the relationship that we have with friend, the relationship that we have with our kids, the relationship with the wife, the relationship that we have with our parents, the relationship that we have with every human being, to show gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to show gratitude to our friend, to the wife, to the kids, and not to take it for granted, to show gratitude that we can eat. How many people dying to eat bread, but they can't eat bread? Why? Because they have whatever sickness. How many people have the money to wear the best suit, but they're lying on bed? Lo alenu, velo al af echad me'am Yisrael. To show gratitude for the energy that we get from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabotai, Tu Bishvat come to teach us. Nachon that our star like change. Black, all the tree now in the northern hemisphere start to wake up. Nachon. to show us gratitude. Why? Everything is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The energy to wake up in the morning, it's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The energy to go to work, from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To energy to talk, to energy to move, it's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's mean to teach us here gratitude. The same like Adam HaRishon didn't appreciate Hava being created from Adam HaRishon. But Adam HaRishon didn't show gratitude. Although that he sinned, he didn't been kicked out. He eaten from the tree of knowledge. He brought the big 4 averot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't kick him out of Gan Eden. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rabotai, kicked him when? When he didn't show gratitude. Rabotai, we have to understand that when a person doesn't show gratitude, HaKadosh Baruch Hu don't want them near him. I would like just to link it to what's happening in Eretz Israel in Simchat Torah. The Muslim people in Gaza didn't appreciate what the Jewish people given them. Yehya Sinwar, Yemach Shemo V'Zichro. 2011, he was sitting in jail with 3 life sentences. He'd been judged. And a thing of Shalit, he'd been released. But while he was in a jail, in Israeli jail, they found that he had a tumor in the brain. He gone to Bet Holim Hadassah in Ein Karim, hospital that called Hadassah in Ein Karim in Jerusalem. They operate on him. They took the tumor. How? He showed us gratitude? No, he didn't show us gratitude. No. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from now, going to change everything. You'll see everything going to change. Those that don't know how to teach, to show gratitude, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want them near. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll see miracle. So Rabotai, this coming Wednesday night is after Tzet HaKochavim, after we see the star in the heaven. That's already the 15th of Shvat, Tu Bishvat. The person, when he sits and he eats fruit, whatever fruit is it, it's באמת זה לא משנה, רבותיי, because we're not מקובלים. We don't understand how to just say the brachot בכוונה, with full focus. Try to understand. בורא פרי העץ. If you have the ability to connect to the full world that we brought earlier, that we say, I repeat it quickly, that Olam Asiyah, the world of action, is to those fruit that we eat the inside and the outside we throw away, like a banana, like an orange, a pomegranate. Then we have the world of creativity, that we eat the exterior of the fruit, the interior we throw away, like dates, like apple, like olive, for example, okay, and etc. Okay, also grapes, that we eat the exterior, or the interior we throw away. Then we have certain fruit that we eat them incompletely. That's Olam HaBriah. That's the world of creation. That's one of the highest level. What does it mean? That when we sing the brachot, that for example, we brought the figs, we brought that it's strawberries, okay? That Chazal explained that when you say the bracha on it, say it with kavanah, and try to have in mind, this is the word of creativity. This is the word of action. This is the word of creation. If you can, just think about it. And then when you say the bracha, the most important, that you say it besimcha, with happiness. What it means, the happiness? Kadosh Baruch Hu, thank you that you've given me food that I'm able to eat. Thank you for the rain. To show gratitude. That can change, complete the life of a person on Tu Bishvat. And that's what's our job in Tu Bishvat. That's our job. That's the secret behind Tu Bishvat. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit that this Tu Bishvat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu already going to change the cycle. That the entire Jewish people will see Be'ezrat Hashem a great miracle, a great salvation that HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring us. Send us Messiah Tzidkenu speedily in our day, and we'll get rid of all the enemy of the Jewish people and build this Bet HaMikdash. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Those of you that would like to ask questions, Bechavod, unmute your microphone and please ask. Bechavod.
Rabbi, it's Frank. How are you?
Erev Tov, Frank. Shavua Tov. How are you?
Sure. No, Baruch Hashem, well. There are one or two questions I want to ask you. Is there any order that you have to say these brachas, or
very good, very good. Yes,
yeah.
We start. Hazal teach us when it's come to brachot, there is an order. The first thing that we say is mezonot.
Okay.
Eitz. Adama. Shehakol.
Yeah. Okay.
I repeat. Mezonot first.
Yes.
Then eitz.
Eitz.
Then Adama. And then Shehakol.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thanks. Another question I want to ask is, if you come into this world like previous generations and you haven't completed what you have to do, Hashem sends you back again in another form, not another form, in another body. Am I right?
No.
To complete your thing. Now,
No.
you saying here that Hashem now sends these tzaddikim back into a fruit, into a fish, into all those things. So
no, only the fruit, the tzaddikim come, they get reincarnated in a fish. Spark of their soul, it's in a fish. The fruit and all other stuff, normal human being, wicked people being created, depends according to the wickedness, these people create as a stone. Why Dafka stone? They winter, summer, they're suffering heat, cold outside. No one can rectify them. There is a special way to rectify them, but that's not for now. We're not speaking about reincarnation. Right. So what I'm saying, it's a spark of their soul. What it means, a spark of their soul? We explain that there is a righteous people that come to this world. Right. But there is no way that the righteous that come to this world that not going to sin. So he does more better. But 90% he done mitzvah. So take that 1%. Take that. And that 1%, the spark of his soul, gets reincarnated as a fish. On Shabbos, when you eat it, and when you say the brocha, you actually complete the rectification. And now the soul becomes full of all the light, all the sparks. Every soul have light. And every light has certain amount of spark that it have to light. You understand?
But why doesn't it become reincarnated? Yeah.
So a person, let's say, for example, people get reincarnated in a kosher animal. People that get reincarnated and a non-kosher animal. How do you rectify it? You can't rectify it because you can't say a brocha non-kosher animal.
Yeah.
Just tell me what
the Mekubalim explain that there is a way how to rectify. So let's say we're talking now about kosher Jewish people. Like that you said the brocha. For example, if you eat meat, what is the brocha? Shehakol nihiya bidvaro.
Right.
So you say the brocha with kavana, you rectify that spark of this neshama of this person. Okay?
Mm,
That's going to the full neshama in heaven. That spark.
mm. But
You
what
follow?
about, yeah, I understand all that, but what about normal, a person doesn't fulfill his job or his mission in this world, then the sin shells him back as another person, not as not in a fish or this and that. What is the difference?
But so Hazal explained, how do you know what is your mission in life? How do you know what you have to work in life? Say the
It's very
mystical Rebbe.
difficult. Yeah.
He say that what's difficult for you here, the mitzvah
Yes.
that you're really battling with, that's what you
Yes.
have to work. And if you
Okay.
fix that, that's light, the spark, we call
Mm-hmm.
it spark, the mekubal, not we, the
Right.
mekubalim call it spark. I'm not a mekubal. They take
Yeah.
that spark and you fix that
Oh,
spark, and that's going to the
oh,
soul.
okay. I
You
understand.
understand?
Thanks very much. Thanks. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
Any other one, please? Those of you that want to ask question, please unmute the microphone. Yes, Anthony, בכבוד. כן, Anthony, בכבוד.
Just two things. You don't say Tachnun on Tu Bishvat, that's right.
נכון, נכון.
Also, is it a mitzvah to plant a tree on Tu Bishvat? Is it a mitzvah to plant a tree?
So I saw that the custom actually started around 450 years ago, plus minus 460 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I saw that it's brought by some of the Rabbonim that we should plant tree on Tu Bishvat. What's hiding behind it? That the same, like the parable of a human being to a tree. Remember what we explained at the beginning of the show? That by that we're planting a tree to show the parable to a human being. That's where it comes. But it's not
Okay,
halacha.
thanks very
It's not halacha. It's not halacha.
No.
It's not written anywhere that it's halacha to plant. It's a custom.
It's a custom.
Yeah.
Because many people they plant a tree and many people stand around the tree. Many people come and look and watch and everything.
Maybe they do that. They do that. They brought the custom that it started with Keren Kayemet L'Israel. The Keren Kayemet L'Israel, okay, that when I was a little boy, I'm talking to close to 60 years ago, they used to teach us that on Tu B'Shvat, they used to give us a small tree. We used to go and plant it in a forest, an all different forest over Eretz Israel.
Okay, thanks very much. Yes.
Thank you. Any other question, Rabotai? Someone else want to ask more question? Bechavod?
Rav, I'd like to ask a question.
How are you?
Rav, all the best. Rav, when it comes to the question that the tree is like a dry tree. When you go through a winter, when you go through a dry tree, it's like comparing to a person, have a dry time in life. Things don't seem to go as they should go. So
that's exactly what I said.
And you're saying that Tu B'Shvat is an appropriate time. It's probably the best time for us to daven for the gratitude of the things that we are having, that we do have in our lives.
Exactly. That's what we say. Yes.
Right. Now it says, now we say we eat the fruits of the land, but there's no fruit. It's the land that time. I mean, it's not, the buds are just starting. There's no fruits. So, what is? So you go. Where did the fruits come from?
Oh, I love that question. Very good. Because on Tu B'Shvat there is no fruit ready yet. Nachon, that's what you say.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Doesn't start.
It's just starting to grow.
Correct.
If you look, what are we eating? We're eating fruit that exists on that time. We're not eating the fruit that's gonna grow. We're eating the fruit that exists. For example, if you look at winter, we have the oranges, nachon? So we're eating oranges. But there is certain dry fruit that represent fruit that doesn't grow in winter. And that's where it's come. So the chokhmah is to obviously to eat fruit that they're not dry. But what you're going to do, for example, in Eretz Israel now, go and find a date or go find a pomegranate. I know in South Africa now you can get pomegranate.
Fruit. Yes.
Now it's the pomegranate time. But go find pomegranate in Eretz Israel now. You're not going to find. Go find a date in Eretz Israel. So what they do, they eat dry fruit. By that we're saying the brocha on a dried fruit. And it doesn't make a difference that it's dry. We're still thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for what He given us on a path. But that's what I'm thanking Him on a fruit that I received in a path. That's also to give us prosperity for the future and salvation for the future. You follow?
Yes, yes, I do.
You understand how it works? So the bracha that I'm actually saying, it's to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu to show gratitude on a past, on a present, and for the future.
That's good. Thank you.
How's it work? So how's it work? Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Imloch. בסדר?
Oh, that's very strong.
You understand how it works? You understand?
Yes.
I hope that I explained that. I'm trying to explain it again. I'm thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the past. I'm thanking for HaKadosh Baruch Hu for those fruit that I have now. And I'm thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the future, what He's going to give me in the future. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Imloch Le'olam Va'ed.
Yes. Yeah.
בסדר?
Okay. You're very good.
I hope that
yeah. The other thing, one last thing, a lot of things, but this one, we speak about, and you've spoken about tonight, the rectifying of the souls of the tzaddikim and the people through the fish.
I'll talk about the fish, but there is normal human being also in the fruit, remember? Tzaddikim is in the fish. That was the example that I brought. But when we eat normal fruit, we also do rectification. Ken?
No, you mentioned that because of the parsha coming up. So the thing is this, surely, what are we rectifying? Are we rectifying, like you mentioned, sparks of that soul? Are we rectifying the parts of the soul? Because it seems very difficult to comprehend that a soul of someone is inside a fruit. You can understand some of the attributes and some of the things that happen have to be rectified, but the soul, that's hard. It's hard to think of that the soul of someone's in the fruit.
So you can't rectify the soul. The soul, that soul obviously gone to where it's gone.
Yeah.
But it's waiting now to enter Gan Eden. How do you, giving him the pass to go to Gan Eden? By that you said the brocha. For example, Borei Pri Ha'etz, and then you eat from it. Besides that you show gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that given us, I'm actually, by that I say brocha on that fruit and I'm eating it, the spark that was inside that, the spark of that neshama, now got the pass to enter to Gan Eden. Why? Because I say brocha, and that's the pass. You know, when you go to anywhere, you need a certain pass. You're going through a border control. What do you need? You need a passport. What does it mean, a passport? A passport shows your identification. That means I'm Jeffrey Allen, okay? And then you can go through passport, okay? The same, when you say the brocha, You're given that spark that was inside that fruit, the passport now to go through control to go up to heaven. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
You understand the parable?
Yes.
How I'm
Yes.
comparing it? Comparable.
Right. So basically, you're doing two things. You're doing it for your own neshama as well, besides it's tzaddikim, because
For
that's
sure.
exactly so.
For
So
sure.
you're eating not just because you're going to rectify, which it's a good thing, but it's you're actually changing your life.
Absolutely. How do you do that? Again, Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Nimlok Le'olam Vaed. I'm fixing now. I'm fixing for the past, if I didn't say a brocha, and I'm fixing for the future.
Yeah. Oh, very strong. Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure, pleasure. Stephen, you wanted to ask. I see that you unmute. Stephen, I see that you unmuted your things while I was speaking to Jeffrey. Yes, Stephen, Bechavod, you wanted to ask question. No, Stephen, obviously not. Anyone else? Louis, Morris, anyone want to ask question? Bechavod. Hilton? No. In that case, I would like, first of all, to thank you all, to wish you, first of all, Shavua Tov, a good week, to wish you all Tu Bishvat Sameach, and Be'ezrat Hashem, Rabotai, I would like to think that, I would like to believe, Be'ezrat Hashem, that we'll see great miracle this coming Tu Bishvat, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have mercy and compassion on all the Jewish people all over the world. Because we at the moment, we're in a plague of darkness. Like I explained yesterday in a show, and I explained that also on Thursday night. Today we're living during a time of the plague of darkness. Just before Makat Bechorot, when people so blind to see the truth, when the United Nations don't want to see the truth, when the Red Cross refused to give medicine, to the hostages. Can you believe it? When South Africa go against Israel, take them to the court, international court. We're living in darkness. Now it's only emunah. Rabotai, everything is about faith. We have to be strong now to understand. We have to be strong in emunah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't understand what he's doing, but we have to be very, very strong to believe that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu do, it's for good. Kol da'avid rahmana letav avid, Hazal tell us. Whatever the Almighty do, is doing it only for the good. Although that now in our eyes darkness, we can't see. But Be'ezrat Hashem soon we're going to see the light in the end of the tunnel. When Bnei Israel was in Egypt, they never ever believed that they're going to leave Egypt. And here they are. We came over Egypt. Egypt disappeared.
Yeah.
Egypt disappeared.
Mm.
There's no more Egypt. There's no more the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire. Where are they? Where are they? Parasu Madai, where are they? Where's Khamenetsky and his friend? Where's the Nazis? Where are they? They don't exist. We are still here. Am HaNetzach. Am HaNetzach. No one can wipe us. No one.
Victory.
We, Am HaNetzach. We just have to walk step by step with the Almighty. And to believe that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu do, Kol da'avid rahmana letav avid. Whatever the Almighty do is only for good. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should see miracle. Rabot, I would like to take the opportunity to thank each one of you. First of all, thank you very much for joining the show. I hope that you enjoyed the show. And Be'ezrat Hashem will meet again this coming Thursday night about Parashat HaShavua. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us and change already all of this difficult time and will shine the light on the Jewish people. Be'ezrat Hashem, speedily, Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon, and release the hostages, will guard the Jewish people wherever they are in the world, especially the member of the Defense Force of Israel, the security forces of Israel, and send refuah shlema to all the sick people, the Jewish people all over the world. Amen, Ken Yeh Ratzon. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for
Amen.
joining us. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Have a good night, everyone. Good night.
Shukr.